What's going on, beautiful people? You might not know, but I'm a professional farmer and I've mastered growing seedlings, and now I produce premium crop. And so it's only natural that you have to level up, right? So today we're going to be doing a DIY raised garden bed because, I got to level up my skills. So I'm going to go ahead and grow a victory garden and have an endless supply of fresh vegetables so that, in case the world goes to crap, I can survive. Well, me and my family, of course. So, the sun's beaming. Gotta have the campesino hat on, protect your face. Can't be a farmer if you're not protecting your face. Alright guys, so we have our miter saw set up because we're gonna have to cut off some wood and just gonna get everything ready so we can get this DIY project going. Hopefully you can actually see me because it's really dark. I don't think you can be able to see me. So this intro is probably gonna be really bad. Alright, beautiful people. So here we got our crafting recipe. We have 6 cedar planks, 1 2x3x8, and this is supposed to make 1 raised garden bed. So, ingredients. Alright, so our first task is to take off these dog ears, is what they call it, and we're gonna make it flat, just like the other side. That's where our handy dandy saw comes into play. So mi gente, we can't be scratching up our wire with callousy hands. So tenemos que proteger. Listo para trabajar. There you go. You know your wife loves you when she brings you a snack while you're working hard. Make you edit. Alright, so we got all 6 of the planks cut now, and the next step is to cut the 2x3x8 into sections. I believe it's 11 inches, but we're gonna double check that, so don't quote me on it. Alright, so the next step here is to measure out 35.5 inches. Okay, this is gonna be for 2 of the planks, and this is gonna be the center for them. So I'm gonna mark that 35.5 inches. All right, now we're gonna measure out every 11 inches. And we're gonna cut every 11 inch there. All right, so we have a finished product. All right. All 11 inches, you get 8 of them. Apparently you only need 6. So you got some extra 2 if you want to hit your significant other over the head with it, if they acting up, whatever the case may be. But there you have it. All right, now we're gonna set up the frame. So we set up our 2 planks. 2 planks. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put one of these braces in the center and on each edge, like so. So that's your setup, okay? I try to put the pretty side facing out, right, so that it looks better when you put it together. So just a little tip there. And we're gonna go ahead and screw them in and get that rolling. So let's go from there. All right, so to not bore you, I sped it up, but here you have the structure being assembled. I am OCD, so I brought out every tool I had in my garage, and I started with pre-holing or drilling pre-holes before I screwed it in, just so I made sure I wouldn't split the wood. And as you can see, it's starting to come together. You're starting to get the picture of the amazing raised garden bed. All right, guys, so here we have our finished product. Well, not finished, but our pieces. right? And what we're gonna do next is we're gonna go ahead and join these with those other halves that we cut prior. And we're just gonna attach them to each end. I'm trying to determine if I'm gonna use a nail gun or if I'm gonna use screws. Probably gonna use screws, but yeah, I'll show you guys that in a second. All right, guys, so here we have the structure. As you can see, set up. We're gonna put 2 of those planks on the ends on each side, screw them or staple them to whatever your preference is, and we pretty much have it complete. I'm gonna go a little bit extra and add some weed fabric underneath and do the getaway of putting the cardboards at the bottom and the twigs and stuff like that. But I figure adding that extra layer of weed protection doesn't hurt, so we'll see that in a second. All right, so I sanded it down, I flipped it over, and I just stapled some of this weed fabric underneath. What's going on, beautiful people? So this is part 2 of our raised garden bed video. The first time I unfortunately did not order, or rather I didn't have all the soil I needed to get the video completed. So here we have our topsoil mix, and it's gonna be pretty much 4 parts cow manure, it's gonna be 2 parts topsoil, and then 2 parts peat moss. So based on some research and ChatGPT suggestions, I found out that that was the best topsoil mix for our raised garden bed. So I'm excited to get this going, and we're about to fill our raised garden bed and begin our victory farm. Alright, so here we have the raised garden bed. I filled it in with some twigs and stuff that I gathered from this general landscaping over here. And I got some cardboard boxes from all my wife's purchases. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and fill this baby in, and then we're gonna get to getting our potting going. So I'm excited, and yeah, stay tuned. All right, there we have it. First part of our raised garden bed with all the topsoil ingredients. And now we're gonna start planting some stuff. I picked up some tomato plants from one of our local farmers markets, $2.99. So I'm looking forward to plenty of delicious tomatoes for sauce, for everything. I mean, we put tomatoes in. So there you go. First crop, guys. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get to work here. And what I have here is not what you think it is. This is crushed eggshells, and I'm excited about that because an abuelita said that you should put that in before you plant your tomatoes so that they can gather strength and nutrients and become delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna plan this out right now. You know, little tricks I learned, little tricks of the trade, you know, official farmer. We're going to sprinkle some of this eggshells, give it some extra nutrients. And we're going to go ahead and water it down some before we plant it. So, according to my garden plan, it said that I should plant my tomato plants about 24 inches apart. So that's the spacing I got here. And what I'm gonna do next, or what I'm gonna do in between, is I'm gonna put basil in between. Supposedly that makes the tomato taste better. Not only that, but apparently basil attracts predators that eat the bugs that like to eat the tomato plants. So it's like a whole science behind it, ecology or whatever you call it. It's pretty cool. So got our hole nicely here. Make sure we got appropriate space. We'll sprinkle our magic dust. Okay. Put our tomatoes in. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh yeah. Oh man, forgot to spray water on that one. Damn it. I'll spray it down right now. Look at that, looking beautiful already. Luna, what do you think? That was good, Luna? Just chilling, sunbathing. Okay. Alrighty. Let's do our third plant here. Oh, snap. Okay. More. Yes, that's good. That's good. Pixie dust. Pixie dust in. So I'll plant here. There we go. I forgot to water it again, didn't I? Fail. Got one job. One job. Now some of these plants have already started to flower. I'm going to pluck those flowers. Apparently, it's not good to let them flower and they're so small. You know, they're not strong enough to sustain the weight of all the tomatoes. So we're definitely going to prune them. And now we have some extra grow containers. Repurpose, folks. Beautiful people, so there you have it. This is our raised garden bed. You know, pretty much simple materials, bountiful options for topsoil, and we've gone ahead and planted our tomatoes. We have basil in between to complement them. We have oregano that hopefully will serve as mulch once it starts to grow out. And we have some leafy greens. I think I planted some iceberg lettuce, some spinach, some romaine lettuce. I got cilantro on each side, and then I've littered it with a bunch of flowers in the front for pollinators. So hopefully the next update I give you guys will be bountiful from all this hard work, and it won't be a bunch of dead plants when you see me. So appreciate you guys watching. Peace.